Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. Wishing a happy Thanksgiving to all my American viewers. Wherever you are spending the holiday, please be safe and enjoy the moments. On this Thanksgiving, I am grateful for the love and support this community has shown me and have gratitude for each and every one of you who support and encourage me with the work that I'm doing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And of course, I have to say thank you to the Trainwreck Duchess here in America for bringing us all together with a shared common purpose. I may not have much, but I am sure glad I am not sitting in Meghan and Harry's shoes. That's for sure. Meghan can pretend all she wants that things are perfect in her world, but the public is not stupid, and we see how miserable Harry has become and also very homesick. Now, you've heard me on several occasions mention that I believe that they haven't been getting along for some time now, and I think that the problems have been showing itself ever since last year, December. In my personal opinion, the cracks really started to show when they went to Invictus. We're going to do a bit of compare and contrast. Take a look at this video clip. This is Harry in 2016. I believe it was May. So whether or not you believe the theory that it was the month of May that the devil crept in, or it was right before Satan took its grip and started to work its black magic, either way, pay attention to his behavior and the things that he's saying.
To what extent is this really the heritage of your mother? She was the first person in many ways to start to pick up some of these less popular, more difficult causes.
To me, I don't think it's an unpopular cause as such. I think it's something that needed a spotlight shone on it, and to prove that these individuals, or not that they don't want to be defined by their injuries, they want to be defined as human beings, as the person that they originally were here and mentally and physically. And I think all we've done is create this sporting platform where they can be in their element, and it's literally it's lives being changed there and then. So
what did you notice? For me, he was so passionate in what he was talking about. Also, he didn't bring up his mother. It was the BBC interviewer who brought up his mother, and it didn't faze him. In fact, he wanted to deflect away from talking about his mom because it was completely separate. And he does mention that it's not the same as her walking through a landmine, but what he's doing, you could feel a sense of it was his own thing, and it really did give him a sense of purpose.
with regard to the question to my mother, I think it's not a sensitive subject. This is not about landmines, let's say. This is more about 15 different nations of individuals that need rehabilitation. They need curing. They need fixing, and they're the ones doing this. And we get to have the opportunity to be there and create this atmosphere and help them on that road.
This is the Harry that we all know, and the reason why he was so popular and was loved by so many people in the UK, but also globally. Many of you have said that Harry has been a prick his whole entire life. That might be true. However, if this was acting, then we would see consistency in those recent appearances that he had this year. Most notably at Invictus this year with Hope. Take a look at this clip. What do you notice? So to give some context, Hoda is talking about a veteran who is participating in the games this year.
She said, the Invictus Games saved my life. How does that land for you?
It feels amazing.
What was that? It was like he shrugged his shoulder like, yeah, I guess. Watch it again.
It feels amazing.
Yeah, I guess, whatever. It is what it is.
But every single games that I go to, I hear the same thing from so many of them, and that it feels amazing that we've managed to play a part in their recovery, but it also makes me incredibly sad to know that that's how dark it was for them.
And this is a perfect indicator showing that he's coming from a place of darkness. You're trying to sell these games. You're going on this interview to talk about how awesome the games are. You don't start off saying, well, yeah, it makes me feel good, but I also feel really sad because they're, coming from a place. And then you end your point on a low note. It would have been better had he said, yeah, it makes me really sad when I hear that. A lot of people come and talk to me about that. But I am really happy to know that these games do impact them in such a positive way. You always want to leave your point in a positive manner. Again, it's coming from a place of sadness and darkness. And wait till you hear what he says next. It will start to make sense in where he's coming from.
But with everything that's going on in the world and trying to help and trying to use the platform and the influence to try and steer people.
Is it me, or does he sound exhausted trying to make his point? It appears to me that he's trying to put together what he's about to say delicately.
To try to help. And again, like, I think the biggest concern or the biggest issue that people wrestle with on a daily basis that does provide more anxiety for me and for them is the helplessness. We as human beings are compassionate people, but when your life becomes really hard.
And there's that indicator of him saying, my life is not going so well, because he's pointing to himself as he's saying it, which sets up the point that he's ultimately trying to make.
It can be, for some, harder to find the compassion for other people.
And there it is, guys. He really didn't want to be there. He wasn't into it. And you could tell. Now, I know many of you are going to say, well, that's because he had a bad meeting when he went to go see the Queen at Balmoral. Yes, that is a part of it, but it's not the source. I'm not sure if many are aware, but Harry did another interview while he was at Invictus. Now, I'm not sure which channel or station it might have been in the country, but it was not something that was broadcasted around the world. What I want you to observe here is every time they talk about his wife.
The Duchess of Sussex, I should say.
Does that look like a man who is in love and lights up every time he thinks about his wife? Sorry, not buying it. Throughout this clip, the commentators had been praising Meghan.
How's she enjoying it so far? Because she is very much part of this family now, isn't she?
Pay attention to what Harry says. I will come back to this.
What do you think, Joe? You met her yesterday.
I think she's so lovely, and I think she's really comes across as incredibly genuine. I think she really, we're all speaking
across as incredibly genuine. I think she really...
These people are singing the praises of his wife. Do you see his facial expression? He's not moving his face. He's not in agreement. He's not adding to it saying, yeah, my wife is everything to me, and I wish people would see that side of her more often. Nothing. What does that tell you? When you look at his face when she says she's really genuine, it almost was like a tick for him. It triggered him. He wasn't really in agreement. He just started to blink really rapidly. Almost like in his head, he's thinking he knows he's living in a lie. Not only does his eyes flicker, but at that very same moment, his hand starts to fidget. And to me, that gives it away, saying like, you know what? He does get triggered when people talk about Meghan because there is bitterness now creeping up.
Across as incredibly genuine. I think she really across as incredibly genuine. I think she really...
Now let's go back to the old Harry for a second. I want you to hear what he says about his privilege.
We are completely aware that we're in a very privileged position, and I will spend the rest of my life earning that privilege and trying to bring a spotlight onto things and causes that really matter to me, and I hopefully matter to a lot of other people as well.
Harry, where did that go? Oh, right. It went along with your soul to the devil. Now let's go back to this interview. Let me give you some context. She is talking about how him and his wife really care about this Invictus charity and the things that they do. Watch his face.
both you and her really care about our stories and really are there to support us, and yeah, she's just lovely.
Does that look like someone who is into this right now? Does that look like someone who cares? Does that look like someone who is miserable? Let's watch it again.
You and her really care about our stories and really are there to support us, and yeah, she's just lovely.
And yeah, and then we're speaking to your lovely wife about, and yeah, and then we're speaking to your lovely
wife about
Does that look like a man who thinks his wife is lovely? The commentators are complimenting his wife. At no point does he say thank you or even show that he's in agreement. You tell me. That's not normal if you were in a happy relationship.
But when your life becomes really hard, it can be, for some, harder to find the compassion for other people.
You know, the after effects of cancer, especially with breast cancer and the sort of hormonal impact on the body and things.
The only time Harry lightened up in this interview was when they were talking about the UK veterans and hanging out with them.
Three of us met in a tent in typical British fashion in a cold morning.
It was a lovely tent.
Under a marquee tent, tea and coffee being served with the UK team.
Where better.
That's what dreams are made of.
Harry just wants to have some fun, and I don't think he's having any fun.
That people get to see me here in this Invictus role, you know, cracking on with the guys and mucking in and having a good time with them. And this is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing. But
this is not a happy man, and I believe that he is on his way out. If he was smart, he would drop that interview, get ahead of this, and do a tell-all interview exposing all this. Because you know what's going to happen. This woman is going to set him up for a really damaging fall if he ends up leaving her. There's going to be all sorts of things coming out that will paint him in probably the worst light in order for her to come out looking like the victim. Mark my words. If Harry is smart, get ahead of it, cut your losses, and move forward. Take the invisible kids and run. Do what's best for your kids, and staying in a relationship that is toxic is not doing what's best for them. On a final note, I know that I haven't weighed in on this situation yet, on will they, won't they be going to this gala and what I think about it. Well, here it is. There's a lot of talk about Harry and Meghan going to receive this award and posing a problem for the royal family, as it's pretty much sticking up a middle finger to the monarchy saying, yes, you are racist. In my opinion, I don't think it matters, because I don't think that Meghan is going to go anyway, whether this issue was there or not. She's not going to go, and here's why. So we all know that they were with PR firm Sunshine Sachs up until about maybe the end of August or beginning of August. However, I suspect that this award was paid for. So when Sunshine Sachs was working with them, this probably was part of their package. So when Sunshine Sachs, this is what I heard allegedly, received their payment, it was them that dumped Meghan, not the other way around. And allegedly, there was rumor that Sunshine Sachs was charging them a lot more than they should have been paying. So it doesn't sound like the relationship ended on a good note. Sunshine Sachs does not do the PR for the Ripple of Hope Gala. The charity has its own media department, so at least for this year and last year's Ripple of Hope Gala, that actual office was executing on the press pieces. That doesn't mean that Sunshine Sachs is not involved. It just means that they could have that email address dedicated to them and they manage it. Even though that Meghan paid for this award, there's no way that she's going to show up if the relationship with Sunshine Sachs went sour. And the reason why is because Ken Sunshine is a main player in New York City, especially in the political world. He has a lot of weight with the Democrats, and I guarantee if Meghan ended on bad terms with this firm, especially with him, Meghan will not show her face there. And I think that if they don't go, she will be able to save face, because then she can say, oh, you know what? We're not going to go because it's not the right thing. We represent the monarchy, blah, 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 right? Now, all of a sudden, she is doing the right thing for the monarchy when in reality, it's going to probably be she doesn't want to be confronted, or she's afraid. She's a coward. She will do her best to avoid any sort of conflict where she has to own up to her bad behavior. So I don't think that they're going to go. And I think that this is the route that is going to go. Now, I could be wrong, because this woman is absolutely insane. There could be some sort of, I don't care, Harry really pissed me off, and look at Catherine, she had all the limelight, I'm going to show them. That could override this, but I doubt it, because this is a lion's den that she would be walking into, especially if she has an enemy now in that room. I'm just putting that out there. I don't think she's going to go, but I could be wrong. But we'll just have to wait and see. I am sure Kerry Kennedy already knows about Meghan Markle and what had transpired because she is really close with Ken Sunshine because of Andrew Cuomo. That's another story for another day, but they're not going to give back the money that was given, whether it went to the foundation from Archwell, but let it be known that there definitely hadn't been some type of sizable amount of money given for this. And of course, she's going to be glowing about Meghan in the media because she paid for it. So, well, allegedly. I'm just saying, that's just what I'm guessing happened. Anyhow, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Leave your thoughts below. Everyone, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey. I will be back soon with more content. Until then, be safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.
That was such a fraud.